Hi, it is April and I wanted to share with you some of the new releases coming out that I'm excited about, that I've added to my to-be-read stack, which is never ending and will one day fill a tower, which will then fall over and possibly kill me. Who can say? There are less books than usual this month. It started with 6, went down to 4, and I don't know what's going on with April, but so far it's been a weird reading month. So let me share with you the 4 out of the 6 that I am still excited about, and then I will tell you why I decided to knock 2 of those off the list. I'm going to do these in order of release date because I feel like it's just easier that way. Is that just me? No? Okay. Well, that's how I'm doing it, so let's go ahead and dive on into this thing. First is How to Make Friends with the Dark by Kathleen Glasgow. This was sent to me as part of an Instagram promotion by Get Underlined, and the reviews for this are absolutely fantastic. It's supposed to be as approachable as a YA, but as emotional as a full-on literary fiction, so I was definitely intrigued by it, and I actually started it. I am just about 50 pages in, so I don't know much so far, but I'm definitely enjoying it at the moment. It's really a book that's pretty heavy. It's a book about grief. There's a teenage girl named Tiger Tolliver, and this is the story about her mother passing away and her life before that incident and after it. I think grief is such a hard thing for most of us to talk about in our day-to-day lives. It's not like it gets brought up, and even when sad things do happen, I don't think it's something that we necessarily communicate very well or talk about how to deal with it or how about it really feels when it happens. So sometimes I turn to fiction to, I don't know, fill those holes in my life. I really feel like that I've learned a lot from fiction just as much as I have from reality. And this is just one of those books that, I don't know, it just seemed like it would handle that topic, which isn't talked about very much or very well, and shed a light on it that maybe I haven't heard before or that I can relate to in some way. So I'm really looking forward to reading it. Already at 50 pages in, I feel like I've been punched in the heart machine, so we'll see what happens. Next up is The Second Mountain by David Brooks. I have started reading this. It's like part social commentary, part philosophy, part self-help. It's a lot going on. It's also hard for me to really define what the theme of this book is. I kind of feel like I'm waiting to find out. I am about, I don't know, what page am I on? Yeah, 50 pages again. Seems like that's where I'm stuck on a lot of books right now. So I am really enjoying it. It's very thought-provoking. I was reading it at night and then I realized this is a bad idea because it's giving me too many existential thoughts. So it has been redirected to morning reading only. It's very interesting. A lot of it I am sort of seeing my own experiences in, my own opinions in on sort of modern society, but I'm kind of curious where this is going to go. The second mountain concept starts out as the first mountain in your life is success from an external perspective, success from like your ego. So your career, how you look to outsiders, basically, like, do you have a family? Do you feel successful? Do you feel like you've checked off society's boxes for what it means to be successful on the exterior? And then, so that's the first mountain. And then the second mountain is supposed to be like when you get to that point where you do feel like you're relatively successful, and then you kind of think to yourself, is this it, or is there something more? And that's when you go up the second mountain and try to lead a more moral or community-centered life, or a life other than yourself. So that seems like part of the theme, but he talks about so much. I'm honestly like, that's the best way I can describe it right now, but it's not really clear-cut. It's a lot about community. It's a lot about the sacrifice of the individual while not giving it away. It's very complex, but I am enjoying it and I will let you know how it goes. Next up is Before She Was Found by Heather Gudenkoff. I actually forgot that I had this, but a friend of mine and one of my Instagram students, Darcia Hell, who is an author herself of crime fiction, posted about this, and I realized that I had it on my stack. I completely forgot about it. I put it on the wrong section, so she really enjoyed it, and I decided, you know what? I'm gonna read it. And it sounds really good. I really want a good thriller, so that's what I'm hoping for. This one's about 3 girls who are having a sleepover, and they decide to like sneak out and go to the train tracks, and then by the morning, one of them turns up almost dead, struggling to hold on to life, and we're basically trying to figure out what the hell happened, you know, on that whole outing. So yeah, I hope it's good. I hope it's dark and fun and a fast read. We'll see. Next, and the final of the 4 that are still on my TBR, is Up the Down Staircase. Is that a cool title or what? This is actually a revived classic that Vintage Anchor is releasing at the end of April, April 30th, and one that I had not heard of before, and frankly, I kind of love that. I kind of love finding these revived classics. Like Hellhound was one that was a revived classic that I really enjoyed. So many books just sort of fall by the wayside or fall out of popularity for whatever reason, so I'm excited to sort of give this one new life, try it out, see how I like it. All I know is that it's like a epistolary, I think I say that wrong, but a collection of like letters and scripts and just a bunch of different types of formats in the book itself that comprise the whole novel. It's supposed to be about a teacher and her students and her trying to find meaning in her career. I'm hoping it's good. We'll find out. So those are the 4 that I am still excited about, and they're still on the TBR. There are 2 other books that were originally included on my April new release blog post, but that have since been pulled from my TBR because it let me down. One more than the other. One I think is just not for me, so let me talk about that one first. It is The Lost History of Dreams, which was gifted to me by Atria Books. It's like a historical fiction about a guy who takes pictures of the dead back in the day in the 1800s, and how he is basically charged to take care of his cousin who has passed away, but before he can do that, he has to listen to the story of his love story with his wife and him. It's compared to Penny Dreadful and Wuthering Heights. Naturally, those things kind of intrigued me about it, but once I read it, I realized stylistically there is something going on with this writing style that is just not for me. It's a pet peeve of mine. So I don't want to review this book because clearly I'm just not going to like it. It's very distracting for me when this happens, but I'm not saying it's a bad book. I'm just saying I know it's not for me. And the way I know that is because when I get a few sentences in, I call it over description without any like meaning. So I don't need to know that a door handle is bronze. I don't need to know that a skirt is green. Unless those things really tie into the picture, or they really set an atmosphere, or you're gonna commit to telling me about that bronze doorknob. I feel like if you're gonna tell me that the doorknob is bronze and that's already irrelevant, then you should go ahead and just write me 3 epic paragraphs about that doorknob and then tie it into the theme of the story. So this is a pet peeve of mine. It's why I don't like Mary Lou, frankly, because she does it as well. It's just like pointless detail that actually disrupts me visualizing what you're trying to say. It gets in the way of what you're trying to create, in my opinion, and I just can't take it. It's all I can think about when I'm reading books like this, so I just decided it's not for me. Maybe other people will like it. If you've noticed that stylistically, then don't read it, but if you don't mind that at all, then honestly, it sounds like an intriguing read. Maybe you'll like it. The 6th one was The Atlas of Happiness. I did accept this from the author, and frankly, I'm extremely disappointed in it. A little cranky, because I feel like what this describes itself as, which is The Atlas of Happiness, The Global Secrets of How to Be Happy by Helen Russell, it's sort of selling itself as a look at different countries' philosophies from all over the world, like the Australians having like fair go, and the Italian belief of like the art of doing nothing, like cool philosophies that I thought sounded wonderful to read, and just like a really cheerful little book to flip through. It has these really gorgeous illustrations throughout the whole thing, and it seemed like it was going to be a happy, lovely read. It's not though. I mean, she does talk about those little snippets. She'll like mark a section with that philosophy, but that's not what she talks about. And this irritates the hell out of me. This is a socio-political book. This is a extremely liberal book. If you are that way, if you don't mind politics being shoved down your throat in a book that's supposed to be about happiness, go for it, but that's really not what I'm looking for when I picked this book up. I just wanted to know about the philosophies. I don't like reading about politics. This is reading, for the most part, is either to make me think or to take me away and escape and make me just feel better about the world. I don't want to pick up a book called The Atlas of Happiness and then read about, I don't know, governmental problems and one person's perspective on the solution for those. It just seems like, take that out, put it in a different book, and then give me what you promised. Thank you very much. She does talk about the little like philosophies, but for like 2 of the 20 paragraphs for each section, and I just can't take it. I can't take it. So great idea. Wish that it had been what I thought it was, but yeah, it's just not for me. It's not for me. So that is that. And those 4 books I am still really excited about. I will let you know how they go. It's the middle of the month now and I am feeling like I'm behind on my reading. I'm just having a weird month where obviously I started those 2 books. They weren't what I thought. Obviously my audiobook that I'm listening to, usually that's something that helps me get through things really quickly, but even that one isn't exactly what I thought it was going to be or what it sold itself as. So I'm just feeling like stuck. Like I've started 3 books, I've finished 2, I have started another 2, The Second Mountain and How to Make Friends with the Dark, which are really good so far, but they're just heavier reads, so they just take longer. And I'm just feeling, you know, all simmery and confused. So I'm hoping that soon I'll sort of break through that. I'm kind of hoping that How to Be Friends with the Dark is going to do that for me because it's a YA. And though it is heavy, it is quicker to read and really entrancing so far. So I'm hoping that'll do it. Other than that, those are my books that I am excited about for this month and 2 that I say, girl, don't worry about it. I'm already skipping ahead on my monthly wrap up, but seriously, that's just my thoughts. So thanks so much for watching and for being here, hanging out with me, checking out the April new releases that I am reading. Let me know if you're reading anything new this month or if you're just sticking to your TBR stack like a good kid. I am not being a good kid. I am always getting more books so that I can feel more pressure to read more of them. If you like this video, do me a favor before you head off and watch the next one, just give it a big thumbs up, drop me a comment below, and if you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet but you like all things bookish and good and nerdy, then I'm your girl. So go ahead and press that subscribe button and I will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.